Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Croatia, which we've made the biggest gains so far after a big war in Italy, which we have expanded into Verona and Ferrara. Names have been retained instead of whatever the Croatian name was going to be. This one we had a claim to, this we did not. So that adds more aggressive expansion. We have also expanded to here, here, and there. So nearly the Adriatic, the Adran, is our own Mare Nostrum, our sea. In addition to that, we even took Malta from the Knights, even though the Mamluks are currently stationed there and they shouldn't be there by all rights. But let me tell you, there'll be no Maltese separatists here. But we are coring this province, but we're not going to turn this into a state because we don't have most of eastern Sicily under our control if I'm really interested in expanding to all of Sicily. But we're using Malta as a naval base of sorts for another position for our navy to be here. But give it a little more development to say 20 and I'll build a shipyards there to make it more of a proper naval base. For faster ship repairs and all that. And plus it's a potential gateway to Africa. I've become a bit more and more interested about Africa, and that's not due to its development, but some of its trade goods. Especially, you know, some sugar there. Cloth. Just like the land of Carthage, way back when. And further down you go, there's ivory and unknown, into unknown lands. Which these nations further down aren't really interested in colonizing the desert, which is lived by the Tuaregs. Just become rather interested about this area. Yeah. So much so. And it's a miracle that these countries are still around. And after all. And of course, there is a price in making these huge gains. Overextension. Despite the administrative efficiency with the absolutism that we have here. Despite the shortage of officers in this war, but we prevailed. But now the question is, will these countries, especially France and Spain, form an anti-Croatian coalition? If indeed they are, then we should be gravely concerned. As we're sending our troops home, and I'm sure that aggressive expansion that's not going to be too good on that part. But all I ask is forgiveness from some of you. Especially countries that really dislike us. And that one's practically damaged goods. So we're doing everything in our power to try to improve relations with some of the other countries. Even though you do view us as enemies, but we're just trying to please them a bit. And all that. You get out of here. Come on. Yeah. Very sorry. That would be potential alliance breaking. And you know Austria's going to ask for land. Since he's the HRE emperor. How about you guys? Dear friends. Imamate. Oh, you're a kingdom now. the Imamate of Akunulu. And you have yet to become a sultanate. And you are a monarchy, and you went for political absolutism, so that means you will stay a monarchy. In fact, I'm afraid of most countries. So we're just trying to improve relations with everybody. Yeah, this is just to tell you, get out of here. Just get out of Malta. So everybody can go home happy. So this is what the Karamanese uniforms look like. Or Turkish, we should say. Oh, and by the way, we have new unit types. So take your pick, Cossack Cavalry or Winged Hussars. Even though we would lose the fire capability, but that's what infantry's for. Let me see. Let's follow the Commonwealth model, Winged Hussars. In medieval times, mountain knights had dominated medieval battlefield, but afterwards they were replaced by musketeers and pikemen. In the 17th century, cavalry forces were still used for surprise effect in battles, but had often little chance against disciplined pikemen. Therefore, cavalry forces were little used in Western Europe. In Eastern Europe, with its vast steppes, cavalry remained a very important. The Winged Hussars played a key role there. The Polish had developed excellent curved saber. They had selected horses, especially for their speed and endurance, that they carried lances with them of 6 meters that could pierce a pikeman's armor. The Winged Hussars became the heavily armored cavalry that fought countless victorious actions against a variety of enemies. They played a key role in John Sobieski's legendary lifting of the Turkish siege of Vienna of 1683. John Sobieski sent 4 Hussar cavalry groups in a furious charge that broke the Turkish battle line, scattering them in confusion. This victory by the Polish Hussar son John Sobieski hailed as the savior of Vienna. And that will be the standard Croatian cavalry of this age. Swivel cannon was our artillery, and here's the newest one, the Cohorn mortar. Invented by the Dutch engineer Baron van Cohorn during the 17th century, a smaller mortar with a barrel fixed at a 45 degrees angle is the only way to change the range of the shot by moving the piece or using different weight charges. So there you have it. And with these new gains, you should look at the buildings and the development. 26 and 24. Netia. Just in case I will make this into a state. If I fought against Venice one more time, to have these two. Unless our allies beat me to it. Now, anyway, so what do we got here? Workshop, church, regimental camp, university, trade depot, training fields, trade station, because it has an incense. Yes. This here has got a shipyard, regimental camp, university, trade depot, star fort, and naval equipment manufacturer. It's referring to the salt here. So from now on, Croatia now dominates the trade of the Venice trade node. So Croatia, Ragusa, Constantinople, and Crimea. Correct? Yes. We dominate all 4 of these, at least for now. Until we get rid of this overextension, because that trade power broad isn't going to help it. And a global trade power is another thing. And with these new, whatchamacallit, You have no diplomats to send. One moment, please. I need that to start investing in stock exchanges for more local trade power. The ones that cost 85. To help with the trade power. Zagreb, Dubrovnik, and Belgrade. These are the world ports and world trade centers of the area. Well, that's it. Crete. Every little bit helps. Westphalia. Liga, Herzegovina, Split. Might as well for the other areas. Yes, sir. Yes, it really hurts the tax modifier, which is again due to some overextension, maintenance of the armies and all that, and the repairs they're making. Yeah, everything's in the works. Oh, and by the way, these newly captured transport ships, disband them. We only need 30 because it's enough to transport an entire army, one by one. Cost cutting. Also, come on back. Still reinforcing a little. The Palatinate has entered to a military coalition against us. Okay, that's one we should look at. Ah, there you are. You're the one of all of us is outraged against us. You're the first one to step up and say, Croatia is a threat to every one of us. Well, I say on the contrary. Bohemia joined. You're also a little country. Mines. Okay. It's starting to come up. If France or Spain joins, we're screwed. But do come on in. Split. Yeah, we're severely lacking in generals. Not because they all got killed in actions, just accident after accident. In this case, gotta put myself in to lead this particular army. Someone's gotta do the work. Oh. Milan. God, who else? Oh yes, we gotta deal with these parts soon again. Nizhny Novgorod is their new capital, since St. Petersburg has fallen to the Scandinavians. Even if the coalition does attack us, you will protect us, right? And we're neighbors, you'll protect us. And we're neighbors too, you'll protect us. Though we're not neighbors, but we're pretty close. And of course, will you two defend us too, despite what we just did with the aggressive expansion, which again, I'm not going to expand anymore. And if I'm going to expand somewhere, it'll be Africa from now on. Okay, we have our island base. I only took these lands, it's because of legitimate claims we have, and I forgot to look at this. No buildings. You got a workshop, church, barracks, shipyard, regimental camp. Same. It is. Go figure. The Papal States. Really? First big contributor. I'm becoming more and more concerned about this. What the hell are you doing up here? Are you sure Austria's be there? Oh, yes they are. I do have claims, but please don't give me more land, and it's going to be at your behest. I mean, we're not war exhausted. Not quite. But we still have the manpower to wage a prolonged war. But you're also allied with Burgundy, which they ain't much to me. But I'll be willing to help you knock Austria out of it. They're members of the HRE, right? Yes, they are. Of course they are. So once again, we're at war. And it's due to the Commonwealth's own interest. None of them are members of a coalition against me, but we gotta get together. As we are lacking in generals. Oh, move up to Bosnia. Give me more generals. Oh, you only press it once, okay. 4 fire, 1 shock, 6 maneuver. You're up. Now give me another. Not as good. Figures. Quite honestly, the one with the best general should be the one to be assigned to the Cossacks. The Cossacks are our elite troops. And now there's a growing concern of a anti-Croatian coalition against me. Oh my God, France is in. Please reconsider. Salzburg. But again, if we are attacked, you will defend us, right? All of you? But I fear the very worst. If Spain is in, we are boned. I mean, France is bad enough, but... And they have the ad infinitum amount of manpower. Thanks to quantity in their traditions and the colonies that they have. But if Spain joins, then, as I said, we are boned. Oh, you and your big mouth. It's about to start. That's why I'm hesitant about getting in here. I'm keeping the Navy at the ready as repairs are making finishing touches. How the hell are we gonna fight them off? But you will defend us, right? If that ever happens. So, a coalition war against Croatia may happen at any time soon. Could this be the beginning of our decline? That would be, it's basically us against the world. Not necessarily the world, but the colonies, you know? They can contribute too when they send some ships on their way, bit by bit. About to say, hey, England, would you help us out if the spaghetti hits the fan? I would say. I know it's gonna take a diplomatic relations and we won't get much diplomatic power, but I am terribly concerned. You are a natural enemy of France and Spain. We'll start currying favors of you, even though we don't see each other eye to eye. There's Burgundy, I should say. We're ready for combat. Send these two. We'll follow you a bit. But eventually, once these, so that kind of slightly explains why Austria has not called us to say, hey, what you just did there, it's very aggressive expansion, will form a coalition against us. But look again. Spain and France is enough to fight against us. And we just decided to get England on our side. English separatists. That'll keep the French busy. At least for a little while. Oh yeah, don't forget Scandinavia. Even I would love to improve relations with Scandinavia as a potential ally. A friend of the Commonwealth is a friend of mine, basically. And Dutch don't really care other than we just improved relations with them for a bit. But they don't like Austria. So I guess we're going to go up there. Even though I do have claims to it, but heaven forbid if the Commonwealth actually gives us those lands. I don't want to expand anymore. The countries will be mad at me. And they'll strike. But the question is, are they really going to? Or is it because the strength of our allies is enough to convince them to back off? I even got England there. Even though we fought each other very few times, but never in anger. But stop moving. For now, remain in their cautious position. A coalition war may start at any given time. Damn it, where is it? Here it is. Of course. I will remain a cautious stance. This is going to take a long time. Naturally. But hey, one thing's for certain. That trade power is going to jump up. Oh yes, we have the, whatchamacall, the two-decker ships that we could upgrade. If I had the money, of course. If it wasn't for that damn overextension. Just do not move. A recent strategy to carve new provinces out of whoever happens to be in the way probably seems to have a somewhat negative effect on our standing among the fellow nations. They are overreacting always. But you know what? Get that prestige back up. And that potential separatism will be reduced here. Just to have it a bit up. Just out of respect. And to improve relations with everybody. While we're just telling everybody else to please calm down. If France ever attacks you, I will help you out. And anyone else who dares. Yeah, they've calmed down now. With the separatism part. Seriously, whose idea? $100,000. But I am not advancing into Austria. We're letting the Commonwealth duke it out. I am holding my ground. One of the greatest and richest men of Croatia, Gaspar Talovac, has died without an heir. A well-respected trader who built his fortune from the salt trade, and he was a well-known patron of religion and arts. Now in death he's bequeathed all his wealth to the state. State needs the money. This is to upgrade all the ships. All the heavy ships and what else? One old ship type. Get them to work. So now we have two-deckers, so now basically they're on par with some of the world's navies. Just don't be outraged. Just please calm yourself. I urge calm. Tsarograd is about to be converted very, very soon. They ain't gonna rise up. We're just holding our ground. There's no need to get any Austrian provinces, as much as I would like to personally, but we're just done create our own crisis, you know? Malta will be the first province to be cored because it happened during a war, not the end of it. It's Catholic now. I was wondering, what are the Ottomans doing at this time? Still allied to two Sicilies. As I said, I will not expand any more into Europe. I will put my focus to Africa in the future. As more of a territorial colony sort of thing. Much like how the Kingdom of Italy, a United Kingdom of Italy at a later time period where they made an Italian North Africa. We're thinking about that for Croatia now that we have Malta as a gateway to Africa. But now, we may be endangered. But that's all the coalition that they formed against us. But now it's only a matter of time of who's going to pull the trigger. Who's going to fire the cannon? Who's going to fire the shot around the world? And all that. Oh, here comes these stock exchanges. And then in a year's time, these two manufactories in two areas will be built to help with the income a little. Yeah, just to get it back up. And we'll see what kind of trade power it'll jump up to by the end of this month. So take a look. Real quick. $59, not very much, but it'll do for a time. But that'll be until all this overextension goes away. What is there to build? Well, there's that. If you want to build more to the army. No need for that. So basically a conscription center for more land force limit if you want to expand the military in the future in order to protect yourself better. Yeah, I could see where this is going. Is France not sending? Though they hugely dislike us. They don't view us as an enemy yet. We're just trying to show forgiveness while we can. We're just urging calm. It's not till this November. Oh, it could happen any time. It could happen any minute. Well, we did what we could, but hey. And by next month, they'll be ready for combat. Good investment. I guess they're not going to go for it. If we didn't have these allies, they would have done it right away, but glad you guys stuck with us. I don't know what I would do without all of you back there. Karaman, Mamluks, Akunulu, I don't know what I could do without you. You too, Commonwealth, despite our recent aggressive expansion, but you didn't think too much about it, but glad to have you on our backs. Zarigrad's finally Catholic. But what good is the papal influence if it weren't for their opinion of us of what we just pulled off? That means eventually Zarigrad will be a seat of another cardinal because it's a highly developed territory. No more Sunni zealots. Local unrest reduced. Now all we gotta do is make the Turkish an accepted culture. Easy to do, though. Because of how valuable they are. Again, it's all in one area. And I guess I would make the Crimeans an accepted culture too, since we have all of their areas. That's for future reference. I don't know about Pontic Greeks. Anything that contributes to the most development, so to speak. But the crisis is going to continue. If any, they should be forming coalition against you, not me. Huh? Well... Are you trying to go around? Sure, but anything to help you a little bit. To make sure you don't join a coalition against us. But you didn't, clearly. Again, when Malta is a core Croatia, I'm not making it to a state. It'll remain a territorial core for the time being. Bring him back. We try to get them to back out of that coalition of theirs, but they ain't. But if a coalition is dissolved, then that means you're my best friends, all of you. And to some degree, Genoa and Tuscany, despite the fact that they kind of, well, you know. Just in case. There's no separatism right now. Calm yourself. Now, regarding development, then, making this into a trade, assigned to my trade company. Less tax and manpower will increase its value for trade. Trade in fish? Yeah, right. And honestly, this area doesn't need a regimental camp. I'll tell you what it needs. I would build a fort there. Because this place is going to be pirated a lot. I can make it to a castle. No need for a star fort or anything like that. It's not supposed to be a well-defended position. So get rid of this. Make room for a castle. Once it's finished, in 3 years' time, basically it'll be a bit of a fortress island, and of course, with this being a territory, and if I were to make it a state, I could put an edict to try to develop this country more, develop this part more, all the way up to 20. So I can build a shipyard. So you get a true naval base in a sense. Or alternatively, get rid of another building. This stays because of the fish here. So I may destroy training fields because we got so many barracks around those and training fields, all that. Makes very little difference, honestly. And plus, that base manpower is just not much. So, yeah, get rid of that too. When the castle is finished, build a shipyard there, then we have our naval base to position our fleet over here during expeditionary warfare, or to go towards that part of the Mediterranean and into a bit of the Atlantic when we fight a little bit of wars that involves overseas conflicts. Now, if I had Sardinia, then we get to talk. So you got till next year. So you better start saving up on these. And we did what we could. Come back, all of you. Oh, what else I could do? What else can I do for you all? It's not until 4 years to get more ducats from one of our friends. Well, meanwhile, try to curry favors of England and improve relations with England. The higher the relations, the faster the favors it'll generate. And we got to start building up our trust. What is your trust? Somewhat. But this is a temporary alliance. Keep that in mind. It can't be forever. We're just using you as a way of staving off that coalition. Really? Going after Norway. Norway down there. Well, you do hold the English colonies there. Verona is about to be fully cored. So maybe that'll get them settled down when we core all of these. That coalition will go away. That's over here, dummy. It's part of the net. Why do we have this still on? Now the main trade power is the Papal States. So are you saying that you got trade ideas? Yes, you do. Well, let's aim to change that. Since we have the home of the trade node, you might as well protect the said local trade power. Just to show them. Show them who's dominant around here. There you go. Talking about Ferrara. As I said, if I ever want to form a trade company, it'll be down here. That's due to the cloth and the sugar that I'm interested in. And maybe further down the line to go explore further down in Africa, trans-Saharan trade. Back then you said Croatia would be impossible to form a colony. Well, I might make one exception, even though it's not much. But it seems hardly anybody is scrambling for Africa. So I thought, well, we can't expand in Europe anymore, so Africa seems to be a reasonable option. And if you want to have a colonizer and all that, when you get up to level 26, go for this. Not to mention it gives you more merchant and a global trade power by the end of it. And minimum autonomy in territories. So that's an idea in future. The Americas have already been claimed, but Africa is open. The northern parts anyhow. Because it seems the Mamluks aren't really interested in going after Tunis. It's alright, if I ever go to war against Tunis for whatever reason, the Karamanese would step in. But I would tell them to break the alliance with them, and then the land is mine. Well, in that case, let's get to work on it. Let none go to waste. Forget about Anatolia. I see. How did you two become such friends? Well, not really. You're not part of the coalition because you are part of a peace treaty. Shared it with Mamluks. All I need is to get one claim out of this. Status triumph. You got it. How is this gonna happen? Unrest at least one. Stability less than 0. Oh, I see. That's eternal conflicts, dummy. Corner country. That's for. If that were to happen. You're ahead of time. You're fine. A merchant. Alrighty. So where would I send this merchant by the name of Gaspar Kaniski? I already have Venice, Ragusa, Constantinople. Alexandria sounds a bit valuable, but you have little trade power there. Crimea would be nice, but let me see the incoming. Well, let's just see how valuable Alexandria is, just to try to collect the trade. Sending you over. See you in 17 days. And of course, once that mission is complete with the dominate the trade in Ragusa, well, I trade power as much as we could with these building of the stock exchanges in all these areas except for some of the less developed areas. Every little bit helps. When the cores are completed, and then send the light ships out to try to increase the trade power here. As well as the mercantilism. Don't forget about mercantilism. Every little bit of that helps. If you want more people influence, go for the ones with the most unity. Aha. Now that there's room. See you next year. It's very little, but hey, it's better than nothing when it helps with the trade income. Especially when we get another merchant and another merchant. And then another merchant. And another merchant. You get the idea, alright? Oh, no, not me. I don't want this land. It's yours. Don't give it to me. It's all yours. Good thing I just saw that. Knowing that war is going to be ending soon for Australia. Austria's participation. I'm so goddamn nervous. Now it looks like Austria proper. Full annexation. And all these lands to the Commonwealth. And I get none in return. Yeah, I know. None. Where do we stand in all this? Almost done. Being nervous as heck. A rising star. Throughout his career, Svetoslav Rukavina has left a strong impression on everyone he has met or worked with. From his time as a promising student to his rise of positions of increasing responsibility, he has consistently done well and found new solutions to whatever problems he has faced. It is clear that someone of his background, both as a commoner and as a Sunni, that he has now reached about as high as he can come. It would raise quite a few eyebrows to have a man, no matter how talented, to assume the highest offices of state with such a background. Master Recruiter. As much as talented as that man is, nah. Don't. Keep it as it is. One more month. And then all your problems will go away, hopefully. They'll drop out of that coalition. When the coalitions drop out the alliance of England. So Apulia will be a state. how much we're coring? 248 for all three. Okay. I mean, you're not leveling up anytime soon, so might as well. There, but don't antagonize by lowering the autonomy. What you should do is this. Centralization effort. Every little bit helps. Made some great gains there. And plus this is part of the Venice trade node. That's why we have to dominate the trade here. The lower the autonomy, the more trade power there is. Especially now you control the area where the institution originated from. The manufacturers. Control the birthplace of it. Protect it at all cost. Obviously, coring Ferrara is going to need a lot more. Naturally. Still feeling outraged? Serbian Orthodox military engineer. Now let him stay home. So Kosovo gets local fortifications till the end of the game. Even though it's an old castle, but it's Highlands, so it helps. I would like to upgrade this into a star fort. Just to show how much we're willing to defend this area. Like this place where we have our last stand. Basically. And make a star fort out of Belgrade too. Put y'all to work again. Get ready. It's for the trade power and Ragusa. Just to see how much we can get it out of this. After all the stock exchange that we invested in. This one will be a state, just in case. 91 is what it's needed. Off you go. Is it considered neighboring province if it's in the same sea zone? That's what I'm wondering. That's why I kept talking about Africa. The trade power now is 65. It's going to need a lot more than that, obviously. Also, let the sign be assigned naturally. was thinking. This is the max. It actually reached the max. Okay. Despite the privileges I gave him. And no late frequent elections. I mean, we're not trying to become too absolute. Wish we were, but... After rooting out potential corruption, now we could start making a lot again. Don't have it, okay. But we win? 2 years. So how are you feeling now? Where's your anti-coalition? Are you going to drop out in the meantime? Because I'm not going to expand anymore, but I will try to fabricate claims towards Tunis. Transfer trade power. Again, it says Transno will use my trade power to increase the flow of money downstream. I'll send some power back upstream as long as you already had power in the previous node. Just saying, what happens? So we just sent that over there. Just shows the value of it. And if I have a fifth merchant, I'll be sure to send it to Crimea and transfer some of that through there. That's one down. Guess it's going to be very hard to get more trade power out of this area. Unless you're gonna do an extraordinary effort of what the hell is... Why haven't you done that? Well, what if we just hit every single state within the Ragusa trade node into tech local trade? Much like I did with Venice. Still trying to figure out ways. Oh yeah, I totally forgot about it. And with that land maintenance modifier, that means a little more income. Not to mention our guy just died. Good Lord. But are we really that anxious on military? Well, of course you should. You're trying to go for quality ideas here. Plus he's the youngest. That'll get it up a little faster. So it actually helped a little. Spain has left the military coalition. Okay, they're beginning to drop out. It's good to know. Do you ever get that feeling? When you overextend too much, do you fear the great powers that live next to you that want to destroy you? And all that? Stop, 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 stop. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Start with Tripoli. Now we can go to Africa whenever you wish to. And of course, before the combat even begins, be sure to tell the Caramanese to break their alliance with Tunis. And a war with Tunis should be for Croatia only, and no one else should join. I will have Africa in my pocket. Oh, Tunaval, new seat of parliament. Spain's left the coalition. That's a big change. Well, they were going to Norway anyhow. Business is booming. Thanks to our shrewd commerce practices, merchants are being attracted to our realm and our trade efficiency has increased as a result. Excellent news. Business is booming. Despite the fact, you know, who runs this operation here. Religious unity is great. And of course, when we go down to Africa, we gotta convert there too. So there will be a Croatian North Africa. Currently building a workshop there. And they already got a textile manufacturer there. That's why I'm attracted to that area as the next place to expand. Knowing that Italy is practically off limits. Why the hell not? Build a conscription center. That's for the land force modifier to jump up big time. See that in a year. And that castle of Malta is about to be finished. Just to fortify this island. Again. Not gonna upgrade this further, it's not worth it. $24. Not too far. Yeah, see too if we can try to fabricate more claims all along the coast. Like you got Tripoli, and I would put one there, there, and there. Well, whatever is the state of Tripolitania. Yeah, all that. I would try to get as much as I dare when we fight against Tunis. Which they have no aggressive expansion against us. They do desire Malta, obviously. Oh, I forgot. There you go. Now it's fully cored, and then we can get to work. You know what? Pull back. Go to boss now. You'll get a split. Exactly. We're pulling back, and we'll begin drilling again. You can relax now. But until the coalition drops out entirely, then that's when I'll end my alliance with England. We're only using them as a way of keeping them back. Naval drill. More morale of navies up. Definitely. So now our navies will last long in a fight. Just 2 more of these, and then you have the discipline. Mothball. You're fine. Add a little more income. Bohemia's left. Okay, they're dropping out. Let's begin again. One day, we'll have standardized uniforms. That reminds me. Now it's back at the max. That's on an area that's less well, actually, it's a bit developed, but haven't built any buildings on it to utilize such a land. You've declared war against Savoy. Alright. For what exactly? Let's this area here. Trust your neighbor. Though citizens are encouraged to show trust and good faith in our exchanges, the reality in many nations is that it's a risk that people cannot afford to take. This, however, is not the case in Croatia. We have successfully stamped out corruption on so many levels in society. People not only trust officials to do their job without the extra help of a bribe, but also to trust each other more in general exchanges. This general belief in the honesty of others is the very thread for which the fabric of society is woven, and our country is a shining example of it, as stated in Catholic teachings. Reduce state maintenance for 10 years. That means a little more income out of that. Yeah, we're really enriching Ragusa. Not necessarily the trade part of that, it's still considered, you know, how it is. Unless you want to, you know, develop the country a little more. Innovativeness. Producing cloth is another. Huh, what? Oh, the Hagia Sophia is now useful. Originally it said it's useless to us, so I kept saying that. That's because the majority population is Sunni, but now it's usable to us Catholics. Okay, what does it do exactly? Tolerance of true faith of heretics. Further up, papal influence. And if fully upgraded. Oh my goodness. Well then, This will make the clergy make us a little bit loyal, a bit more loyal. Very, very tempting, though. That's very tempting. But not until I get my money from either you or you. Or from someone just as good, like Genoa and Tuscany. Or even England, for that matter. I doubt you have it. No, of course not. And you're at war with Norway. As you want to expand your way to further down in Southern America. South America. So again, until this is a territory, the economy will remain high. But even if I were to turn it to a state, then it wouldn't do much other than just try to develop it up a little. So I may turn it to a state in the long run. But that'll be until I make my expansion here. So right now it is basically an island base. You got a castle, shipyard's about to be finished, soldier's household. What the hell else would I build here if I develop a little further? Trade range increased, so what does that mean exactly for us? Just new trade routes? Like, you go to Persia, Samarkand, if we even have some degree of power there. Trans-Saharan trade I was talking about earlier. No, you don't have the range. Actually, you do have the range to send a merchant to Samarkand, but you have no power there. Unless you go further along the steppes. You can also trade in Basra, and Hormuz. None of the Indian trade nodes. But if we establish ourselves here, then definitely. If you care about trade companies and all that. But more papal influence from the Hagia Sophia in the future, that we should invest in that? I can see that. Starting to leave. I know y'all don't have the money, but I doubt they have it. 94. Oh, of course you don't. But I'm going to give you a year. Otherwise I'm going to get it off of Tuscany. Even though our income is great. But most of that money we get is from war reparations. It's the maintenance that's becoming a real issue. And those really talented advisors that we hired. All of them are starting to catch up their age. What we're only doing that is just to get these a little up quickly. and the ideas as well. Here's another. So bucked. Got triple Itania for the most part. Keep it up. Tell you, once you reach 2,000, upgrade that. Of course. No need for new generals right now. Not at war. Nor do we plan on going to war anytime soon. Until that coalition goes away. You're the one that started that. Now it's just France. Oh, there goes Milan. Upgrade that. It's in the works, so it'll be done in 10 years. Can we speed it up a bit? We're not using our manpower right now, so bring it forward by days. Okay, use up a little more. 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 That's it. Stop. It'll be done in 2 years. Okay, fair enough. Start accumulating all that money and manpower again. As I said, your manpower accumulation going up will be fine. You're not going to go to war anytime soon, so it would be wise to upgrade this. Would have preferred to upgrade this one with the advisor costs and reduced yearly corruption on the far end of things. I'm sure the more you increase it, the more expensive it's going to get. Gee, using our manpower reserves to get this to work. Your new residence. So basically when the fleets deploy, you'll know what the coast will look like. And with this castle here, that'll reduce the devastation chances when it's raided by pirates. France is the last one of this coalition, so crisis averted, basically. And until it's gone, I will end my alliance with England. You did what you could. Okay. Good. Thank you. We can still trust each other in the long run. Now we can get up this diplomatic power a little faster. I'll be willing to get one more trade idea and save it up for heavy frigates. Let me see. Supply limit's 47. Okay. Just making sure so that we would deploy our army inland as we would be going down to Africa eventually. When is the next election? That's what I'm wondering. Because I really want to get rid of this guy. Because his trade efficiency is hindering the country's income. You know, I'm wondering. Oversight. Oh, that's still a thing. I forgot. Mercantilism, all this. If you want more money, by other means. very important to us. What do they have a monopoly on? Oh, steppe provinces. Huh. Could care less. Rather tempting, but a little more influence means our cavalry will be fighting in an awesome way. I also still want this in particular. Plus, what's the terrain like? Desert, coastal? What's the difference? Desert is less development cost. Coastal desert, slightly less. Triple X coastal desert. Well, you did say you want to go to North Africa. And this is what you're going to be dealing with. Nothing but desert. So the Anti-Croatian coalition is no more. No need for a general right now. We'll get new generals whenever we go back to immobilizing and all that. And subsequently, we're about to reach the maximum army professionalism when we get such generals. But it seems fighting in desert campaigns, those supply depots will be very useful for once. Intrigues in Zagreb. A Bulgarian official, Mutimir Franch's rise to high office has not been easy and has angered many of those closest to Amos Drašković. Matija Drašković, a member of one of the oldest Croatian families in our country, has approached our monarch, demanding that we relieve Mutimir of his position. Preposterous. Yes, we still dominate the Venetian trade. Just. The honest merchants of Croatia. We know that description adds a little more global trade power. So what does that have an effect on the areas that we control these for? But I'm looking at Ragusa in particular. It jumped a bit, so did Venice, Constantinople, and Crimea. And I'm sure a little more in a few other areas. Now keep in mind, when I get another merchant, I'm sending it to Aleppo. We have some trade power there, but it would be better utilized if we can send our light ships. But my main priority is to get as much as I can by continuing to encourage mercantilism by any means. Yeah, that's probably wise. You better have that money ready. If you've got it. No, you don't. How about you? No, you don't. Still waiting. Right at the coast of Malta. Oh. You know, that's something you should also be doing. Hunt pirates in the Tunis area, which we do not have under control. That's Genoa, you goof! Genoa is the area you can hunt pirates. Ah. That's just what I'm looking at. Yeah, you might as well go on it, Pirate Patrol. Raiding Malta is just... eh. Finally. get me a new diplomat candidate. So it's around July 20th or 21st is election day. And this man is embezzler. Don't worry about it, we're still ahead of time. Technology and positive stability, doesn't matter. But at least the economy will go up. Now the trade can be more efficient to make some money out of that. It'll be done this September. And during my turn, why the hell not? Because, you know, we're so close to getting the armed professionals at the max, you might as well. Gotta drill the Cossacks. As much as I'd like to use standardized uniforms, the reparations starting to go away, but at least it's compensated. More mercantilism. Maybe this one for next time for the time being. Much as I would like to keep promoting more mercantilism, because of course what it does, it increases the provincial trade power modifier in all areas is what they mean. It actually helps it very little. Next one has to be a size 30. So it'll be that one. Part of triplet down here. And maybe these as well. All part of the Tunis trade, but I think you will probably want to control Tatooine and Djerba as well. Oh my goodness! Big war. And thanks to the passing this issue of the Parliament that reduces land maintenance modifier and attrition, so that way we make a little more income. And this Hagia Sophia upgrade will be complete. So it's got to be around the 80s, maybe mid-80s, we will finally go to war. To go down to Africa, make it a territory, turn this into a state instead. So I would like to develop it a little more. But plans change, pal, as always. But fortunately, since we have the coast here, we can deploy our troops in a hurry. As long as they don't occupy it first, that is. Nogai, Mushasha, and Ajan. Bring all fleets together. Head to no. Corfu, our usual meeting place. Oh, that's the transport fleet. But you might as well get them unmothballed. Stop, all of you! Get up! We'll have that call answered in a moment. Stop drilling. Get moving. Move, move, move. Don't answer that call yet. There you go, a little more taunts. Favor heretics. If you're going to upgrade that, you're going to need a lot more than that. So, because I must do anything to get the papal influence up. And don't forget to convert as many provinces as possible. You know, you already have religious unity for that. But you'll probably want to save it up, knowing you're going to go down there soon, but... So yeah, we're back in action in the 80s, but I will not claim any more territories, except maybe Molise. Maybe. As they're still outraged with us. And no doubt that this area will be the first ones to be attacked. Just get them over here quickly. Actually, combine them all here. So that their army doesn't move. I mean, that's some of their army, but... the rest are out there somewhere. One more. Alright, there it is. Fleet united. But are they have they already sailed? That's another question. They've got 41 ships. Just a few more days, then we'll join. Oh hell. We were doing some reconnaissance on the coast before the shooting starts. So that is all of their entire army there, but sending them just one by one. Everybody join in. We'll be transporting you, just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then we'll be ready. Corleone. General Corleone. Can you imagine that? But, well, we'll have to imagine, so that's it for this episode. We will, the next episode will be about the war that the Carmanians started. Which again, it looks like the final remnants of the Ottoman Empire will fall. Except maybe this bit, which I never had time to think claims to, because I stopped thinking about Circassia for a moment. So, but you know, we did propose for an Anatolian Karaman, and finally gonna get our wish. And by the way, who is aiding Karaman? Akonunu Mamluks, the usual allies. My friends. Of course we'll accept. Told you to stop drilling, maniacs. So, in the next episode it will be about the war against the Sicily. At the most part, let our allies deal with them. Sicily is going to be for me, but if they give me any territories, I'm going to be mad at Karaman for making it so, because that just means more cores to core, or more administrative power to spend for the cores, while subsequently delaying our plans for Africa. So be sure to put Jerba as the next one if we can. And keep in mind, most of the trade is Spanish. Croatia has no presence there, but it could change if we control these three centers of trade to Tunis, whereas Spain, only because it's a great power, and all that and more. And they do not have trade power. Why not? For a country like that, you should have a trade power. But anyways, form our boundaries. So that's Tunisia. So now you get the idea of a Croatian North Africa plan. And because of the trans-Saharan trade that I'm particularly interested in, that's why when we get to level 26, which will definitely happen around the 1700s, expansion is the one. Only because of the merchants and the global trade power thing. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's it for this episode. Tune in the next episode. First shots will be fired from the Croatian Navy, even though they got a pretty good admiral themselves, but we have invested heavily in some heavy ships to try to have some degree of naval superiority in the Mediterranean. But as we know, that Croatia has the 8th largest army, 4th largest navy, 5th most provinces, 3rd highest province value, 3rd highest income, really, and 8th highest trade income. And I will find out why is that so in the next episode. But until then, so long for now.